Vietnam Airlines. Welcome to Ho Chi Minh City.
I'm gonna make this last forever. Don't tell me it's impossible. 'Cause I love you for infinity. I love you for infinity. 'Cause I love you for infinity. I love you for infinity.
So have you ever wondered what makes a person a hero? It's not only about glorious victories, but also about resilience, unwavering loyalties, and a burning desire for freedoms. The Ton Duc Thang Museum, located at 5 Ton Duc Thang Street, District 1, Ho Chi Minh City, preserves the life and legacies of President Ton Duc Thang, one of Vietnam's most outstanding sons, a close comrade of President Ho Chi Minh, and a shining example of revolutionary ethics.
Yes, and at the museum, you can explore the journey of an ordinary worker who rose to become a steadfast national leader through hundreds of valuable artifacts, photographs, and documents. And display does not merely recount the story of the man, but stands as a symbol of patriotism, silent sacrifice, and unwavering faith in the nation's future. So let's step into the museum and discover what makes our President Ton Duc Thang so special.
And welcome to Ton Duc Thang Museum, a place dedicated to honoring the life and revolutionary careers of one of Vietnam's most respected leaders. And before we begin our tours, allow me to share a brief introduction about President Ton Duc Thang. So he was born in 1888 in An Giang province and into a humble farming family. And from a young age, he showed a strong sense of patriotism and a deep heart for oppression. And his life stands for a shining example of revolutionary ethics, marked by humility and a lifelong dedication to the people and the nation. And after the August Revolution, he held many important positions in the government and notables. And after the passing of President Ho Chi Minh, he became a second president of Vietnam.
And let's dive into the next chapter of Ton Duc Thang's life. In school, he moved to Saigon in the early 20th century and began working in private workshop, learning mechanics and electricity. In March 1915, he enrolled in the School of Asian Mechanics to deepen his skills, and during his studies, he regularly practiced at the Basan shipyard, and he was known as a hardworking and promising student. And this is the picture when he was 18 years old. Graduated from primary school in Long Xuyên, and the next is decision go to France. In September 1816, his studies was interrupted when he was conscripted into the French Navy during World War I. Like nearly 100,000 Vietnamese at a time, he was sent to France to work as a worker soldier. And though the move was not voluntary, it marked the beginning of the critical turning point in his life.
As a young man, he moved to Saigon to study mechanics, and after graduation, he worked at the Basan shipyard, one of the largest ship repair docks in Vietnam at the time. And it was here in 1925 that he joined the major workers' strike. The strike was organized to support Nguyễn Ái Quốc, later known as Ho Chi Minh, who was leading the Vietnamese independence movement abroad. In August 1925, at the Bason shipyard in Saigon, a significant historical event took place under the leadership of Ton Duc Thang. When he learned that the French battleship Jules Magellan was being repaired for a mission to suppress the revolutionary movement in China, he and members of the secret worker unions organized a strike among the shipyard workers. Their goal was to delay the ship repair and prevent French military intervention. This art was not only protest against war, but also a powerful demonstration of international solidarity and revolutionary spirit from Vietnamese working class. The strike became a milestone in Vietnam labor movement and contributed meaningfully to the country's revolutionary path.
From 1932, when a partisan was formed in Con Đảo, political prisoners began organizing secret escape plans. They stored food, medicine, and bow-making tools. Ton Duc Thang, working at the fishing unit, was responsible for the delivery messages and staying in contact with others. And in April 1935, he was chosen to escape with Da Uyên, but the plane failed, and he was caught and punished in Sa prison. And in April 1945, he tried to escape again, but was recovered and put into solitary confinement at Sa Lưới. And even though the escape failed, Ton Duc Thang never gave up. And during his 15 years in prison, he helped from the Prison Rescue Society to unity political prisoners, support each other, and keep the revolutionary spirit strong. And he used his freedom to movement to teach, encourage and protect his fellow inmates. For him, Con Đảo was not just a prison, but a place to grow, resist, and stay committed to the revolutions. In 1945, while the whole country was rising up in the August Revolution, something extraordinary was also happening, not on the mainland, but deep inside the infamous Con Đảo prisons. And yes, even in that remote island prisons, surrounded by the sea and guarded tightly by the enemy, the fire of revolution never went out. After the Japanese overthrew the French in March, the atmosphere in the prison changed. The political prisoners, mostly communists, began to see that a turning point was near. Inside Con Đảo prison, under the leadership of the Island Party Committee with figures like Phạm Hùng, Phan Trọng Tuệ, Nguyễn Văn Vĩnh, and the iconic Ton Duc Thang, they slowly transitioned from resistance to full preparation. They formed a defense unit, training in secret using only machetes, sticks, and what little they had. Some comrades fixed old radios, hoping to hear news from the mainland. Others worked on broken canoes to be ready when the time came. They even published a secret newspaper right in prison. It was called Độc lập, meaning independence. When news finally arrived that Ho Chi Minh had declared independence on September 2nd, everything moved quickly. The Southern revolutionary leaders sent out a rescue mission. One ship named Phú Quốc and 25 Gò Công boats to bring the Con Đảo prisoners home. They arrived around mid-September. Over the next few days, the prisoners held ceremonies, visited the graves of the fallen comrades like Nguyễn An Ninh and Lê Hồng Phong, and made final preparations. And then, in the early hours of September 23rd, nearly 2,000 political prisoners left Con Đảo. It wasn't just a departure, it was a symbolic moment of liberation.
1945, after 15 long years in the prison, Ton Duc Thang was finally released. More people would have chosen to rest, but not him. He returned to the revolution immediately, working quietly with a strong determination and zero interest in recognition. Even after all he has suffered, he focused only on the peace and the unity. His heart was still with the people. He always happy and never complaining. Greater responsibility was waiting for him. Once that would come in a very emotional moment in the country history. Let's move forward to the 1969 when Ton Duc Thang was asked to step into the role of the president. In 1969, after the passing of the President Ho Chi Minh, it was a time of sadness and uncertainty, and the people needed someone they could trust. That's when Ton Duc Thang was chosen to become a president of Vietnam. Now let me tell you about a great Vietnamese leader, President Ton Duc Thang. One of his most famous actions happened in 1919. At that time, he worked on a French ship. When the ship was sent to the fight against the Russian Revolution, he and other sailors refused to follow orders. This praise showed his strong belief in the peace and fairness. It also became a powerful symbol of the fighting against injustice. After returning to Vietnam, he helped the workers stand up for their rights. He had formed one of the first labor unions in Saigon. This was an important step in the fight for the freedom. After he put in prison for 16 years because of his revolutionary work, even in prison, he stayed strong and encouraged others to keep believing in the revolution. During the wars, he always supported unity and independence. As a leader, he helped bring the people together and work hard for the peace. President Ton Duc Thang is remembered for his brave action and his love for the people. His life is a great example for the future generation.
Following the passing of President Ho Chi Minh in 1969, Ton Duc Thang was entrusted with the highest position of head of state. At 81 years old, he humbly accepted the role, not as a symbol of power, but as a pillar of unity during a time of a national mourning and transition. The final day of his life, President Ton Duc Thang, a native of Long Xuyên, chose to return to this place that had shaped his personal and revolutionary journey. He visited his hometown of Long Xuyên and his wife's house, where he spent quiet moments with his loved one. Then he made a deeply symbolic trip to Bason, Sivia, where he was working as a young laborer and was first inspired by revolutionary ideas. These final visits were more than just farewells. They were acts of reflection and return to his roots and to people and places that had defined his life purpose. President Ton Duc Thang passed away in 1980 at the age of 92. He left behind not only the legacy of a national leader, but also the image of a man who lived simply, led with humility, remained devoted his duty until the very end. Before we end our tour, let us take a moment to honor the remarkable achievement of President Ton Duc Thang through the prestigious award he received during his lifetime. Among the most notable was the Lenin Peace Prize in 1982, awarded posthumously by the Soviet Union. This international recognition honors his lifelong dedication to peace, solidarity, and the fight against imperialism. It places him alongside great global figures who devoted their lives to justice and humanity. He was also conferred the Gold Star Order, the highest award of Socialist Republic of Vietnam. This award recognizes his extraordinary contribution to the revolutionary cause, nation unity, and the building of socialism. In addition, President Ton Duc Thang received the various medals and honors from both Vietnamese and international organizations, each encouraging his unwavering commitment to national independence and the well-being of the people. President Ton Duc Thang remains a powerful symbol of unity and humility. His legacy continues to inspire us to serve with compassion and to always put the people first.
Visiting the Ton Duc Thang Museum was a truly moving experience. From the moment we stepped inside, we felt a deep sense of respect and admiration. The quiet hall, the old photographs, and the simple artifacts, all of them told the powerful story of a man who lived with a great courage, humility, and love for his country. It wasn't just a museum. It felt like a journey into the heart of someone who devoted his entire life to the people of Vietnam.
That brings us to the end of our tour. Thank you so much for joining us today at Ton Duc Thang Museum. We hope this journey has given you a better understanding of his life. A man who lived a simple, humbly, and always put his country and people first.
From the shipyard worker to President of Vietnam, this story reminds us that true leadership comes from the honesty, courage, and compassion. If you have any questions, we are very happy to answer. And you are also welcome to visit for the museum and visit the souvenir shop outside. On behalf of the Vietnam Airlines.